Good evening. This is the Walpole Zoning Board of Appeals. Tonight is Wednesday, February 4th. It is 7 p.m. The first case we have tonight is going to be a continuance, case number 25-2. This is for 0 Sunset Drive at the request of the applicant. They're asking for a continuation. And do we know what date they want that continued to?
March 4th.
And are we in a continuation of time until?
So they're good until the 6th, so March 6th.
Okay.
So they,
Okay. Does somebody want to make a motion to continue case number 25-2 for 0 Sunset Drive to March 4th?
So moved.
Moved by Judy.
Second.
Second by Drew. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried. Okay. Next, we're going to take this, I don't see the applicant for Union Street here. Is the applicant for 7 Hollowdale Farm Lane here? Okay. Let me, so the legal notice was, notice is hereby given that the Board of Appeals, Town of Walpole, will hold a public hearing in the Select Board Meeting Room, Town of Walpole Town Hall, on Wednesday, February 4th at 7 p.m. on an application from Kate Murphy, case number 25-13, with respect to property located at 7 Hollowdale Farm Lane, Walpole, Mass., and is identified as Assessors Map 55, Parcel 94, located within the Residence A zoning district. Application is for a special permit under Section 12C5 of the Walpole zoning bylaws to allow for an increase in the impervious coverage from 14.9% to 17.9% within an Area 3 of the Water Resource Protection Overlay District. All those are invited and encouraged to review the plans prior to the public hearing. And we have a few pieces of correspondence. From Chris Johnson, Assistant Town Engineer, 7 Hollowdale Lane. The engineering department recommends that the Cultec recharge system be relocated from the northern property line to the southern property line. And he provided that on a sketch, which I see you've done that, so thank you. We also have from the fire department, and they have no comments, so. Okay. Were there any other comments? Did you know? Okay. I think this is pretty straightforward, hopefully. You've submitted a updated plan. Do you guys have the small plan of that? Yeah. You've got the.
I have both, yeah.
Okay. We also have some big copies of the plan here, too.
Sheets that come.
So, if you want to explain what you're proposing to do and why the special permit will help you.
Thank you. My name's Kate Murphy. I'm the homeowner and applicant. We are hoping to install a pool and patio, which brings us above the 15% impervious coverage. We are proposing to add 2 Cultec drainage basins to remediate the water overload on the system, and hopefully that will be enough, or should be enough, to make the project successful.
So, when I saw the original plan, I saw it was very close to your neighbor's property line, and there's an elevation change there. So, based on the comments from the town engineer, I was glad that you were able to move that. Does anybody have any questions or comments or conditions that they would want to add for this special permit? No. Okay. Sometimes we get an easy case. So,
Thank you.
okay.
So, Mr. Chair, I actually do have, because we just had one of these recently, so there are a few kind of standard conditions we've had in terms of representative of town engineering to inspect, observe the infiltration system and excavation prior to backfill. And then applicant submits an as-built plan following completion of the infiltration system and installation in order to verify.
Okay. So with those two standard conditions,
That makes sense.
which we always reference, does anybody have anything else that they'd want to add besides those two standard conditions? Okay. Just looking for the date on the plan here. Okay. This is 1:30, I think. Okay. Does somebody want to make a motion to approve the request for the special permit for the property located at 7 Hollowdale Farm? Oh, yeah, sorry, Joe. Does somebody want to make a motion, actually, do you want to close the hearing?
Yes.
At the request of the applicant, will somebody make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Judy.
Second.
Second by Drew. This is just to close the hearing. All those in favor of closing the hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried. Was there anybody here of your neighbors to speak on this? Okay, good. Should have asked that before we closed the hearing. But, okay, the hearing has been closed. And now, does somebody want to make a motion to approve the Cultex systems for the property located at 7 Hollowdale Farm Lane, based on the plan submitted on January 30th, 2026, with the standard conditions that Mr. Deschaines just outlined?
So moved.
Moved by Judy, second by Shane. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried. In voting on that, are the 5 regular members that are here. Okay. Very good. That's it. So you had a good plan, so that makes our job easy, so thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
Pat, can I give her some of these?
Yeah.
They're big. The giant ones? Yeah. Do we don't need any.
No, I keep at least one for us.
One for us?
Yeah.
Yep.
Should I stay for the rest of the meeting?
No, you're free to go. Yeah. That's why we took you first.
Thanks for coming. So,
Okay. And I'll note for the record that member Ms. Conroy stepped down, recused herself from this case. I'm going to just wait until Pat gets back. Okay, It is now 7:10, and we're going to take case number 25-12. This is for 112 Union Street, and this is a special permit under Section 6C 4A of the Walpole zoning bylaws to allow more than one principal building on a lot. The project will consist of the construction of 6 detached, single-family condominium homes on 1.5 acres, more or less. And this is a continuation of the hearing that we started back last year, and then it was also continued from last month without any evidence or testimony taken. And I will turn it over to the applicant, Mr. Truax. Good evening.
For the record, Rob Truax, Truax Engineering Group. So, Mr. Chairman, since our last meeting, we had sent out a notice to the neighbors and invited them to have a meeting and discuss issues with the project. We had 3 neighbors show up. We met at the library. It went very well, good dialogue between us. At the end of the end result was primarily screening, which i.e. fence around the project. So we sent you in a revised set of plans. So we're now showing a privacy fence on pretty much about 70% of the perimeter along the rear property. And then along the right side over here for this woman, at 67 Pleasant over on that side, that comes all the way up. And then it wraps back into the fence that the owner on the right-hand side, looking at the property, wraps into. He already has a privacy fence along our property boundary, so we're going to tie back into his fence right there at the corner. Pull it back. His fence is off the property line in the back, so we're going to put it right on the property line. And then on the left-hand side, looking at it from the street, we're going to add some fencing down in the front where the house is, of the neighbor's house, just along that portion right there, as well as the landscape plantings in that area. Some plantings along the rear. In addition to that, what I did was, the neighbor on the right was not at the meeting with us, but he had raised a concern about the drainage, and that recharge system was off the side of the road, right over by that test pit. I had it slid off, so I just moved it and put it underneath the street to just pull it further away from his property. About 10 feet it moved, just to give him a little more buffering from that, listening to his request. And so since then, we also heard your request, so we did provide you with 3D rendering of the project site. Pull that up. So this is a 3D rendering, looking at it from the front. I believe we have a rear one as well. And that's what the walkout basement ones will look like from the rear. We do have some heights of that. What I'd like to show you is can I see the height? So the height, pull that one back up of the rear. Oh, there it is, right there. There's the height right there. So you can see, that's the height of the new building. And I believe the highest peak from the finished grade on the walkout side to the peak of the main building is just over 34 feet. And then the peak of that A-frame facing the rear is approximately 32 feet to the peak. The actual, in the town of Walpole, we actually measure height requirement to the mean of the roof, so it's like halfway from the gutter to the peak. I want to show you, so if you can zoom that back out a little, Brian. And if you can go back to the rendering? Yeah, the rendering of the rear. But that's kind of what the people from the back side are going to see. So it's basically the walkout basement with the one story with the A-frame above it. We can show you what they look at today. Want to show them what the building looks like today that's on the site? So right there, that's the building today that's there. It's actually a 4-story. That roof area up top, that's a dormer with a window and a living space on that 4th floor. So you have the 3 floors, the walkout, and then that dormer up there. So that's what's facing the rear property now, today. just to give you an idea what's out there and what it's going to look like in the future. So you had, one of the questions came up, I believe it was Mr. Delaney, you brought the question up about the house facing Pleasant Street, and how it's a side view, and so how that's in keeping with the neighborhood. So right across the street, almost across the street, there's a house on the corner of Pleasant and Union. Actually, oh, sorry, this one's Walcott. So that one's down the other way on Walcott on the corner, and it's a similar situation, very similar, where it's on the corner of Walcott and Pleasant. So
Walcott and Union, Rob.
I'm sorry, Walcott and Union. So that's what it looks like from Union Street. That's what it looks like from Walcott, and that's what it looks like from Union. Same type of situation, corner lot, we're a private road, the side of the house faces Union.
Okay, I gotta say something.
Go ahead.
It's not the same type of situation because they didn't come to the zoning board looking for a special permit for that. That's the old library building that was renovated.
But
So,
okay, I agree with you on that. He did not come for a special permit, but that wasn't the question that was posed to us. The question was, show us something of character that's similar to what you're showing, and this is very similar to what we have. That's what the question was.
well, it was, can you make it, and you do have the ability to make it so that the neighbors aren't looking at something like that. They're looking at something that looks more like the front entrance to a house on Union Street. Union Street's a beautiful street, and you have the ability to
I mean, we could
change
change
that.
the facade to look like a front of a house, for sure. I mean, we won't put the door towards Union Street, the front door. We don't want to do that. It poses a problem for the setbacks on Union Street. You can't have the stairway or a portico go into the front yard setback, whereas you can expend 4 feet into the setback on the side or the rear. But you can't do that in the front. I know that came up. Someone made a comment about maybe you could put
We
a
actually
port.
did change that in the fall.
Huh?
So we changed that in the fall.
You went back?
We allowed for if it's a primary point of egress, if you have a covered entrance,
Okay.
it can extend 4 feet within the setback, and then
In the front
obviously.
yard?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, because I know they had it. It went
Yeah.
away, and now it came back.
brought it back.
Oh, I didn't know that came back in the fall. Perfect. We'll absolutely work with that. I didn't know that came back. I know I have a portico on my house that goes in the setback when I built it 10 years ago, and it was allowed. And then at some point since then, it went away in the zoning bylaw, and now I guess it's back. That's great. I didn't know that.
Yep, so just work with Patrick if you have questions
Absolutely.
on that.
Yeah, no, we can work with that, right?
That was another, there's just some other examples in here that one might have been special permit.
That's Mr. Petrosi's project down off Brook Lane, Powder Horn. Just, I didn't take that picture.
We're just trying to put together examples
These guys love that project.
Oh, actually, it's working.
It is working, and they're selling. He's moving the product very well, actually.
So, Rob, just real quick, a couple of things that came up that I wanted to address.
Yep.
So, one of the questions was the bedroom count, impact the footprint as shown on the site plans.
Correct. So right now, if you look at the floor plans, you see a master bedroom on the first, you see one bedroom on the second, you have a loft, and then you have like just a room, as they call, I don't even know what it's labeled, it might be labeled a
I got it
study.
right here. So this is
It's like a study.
first floor, and then master one, master, and then
Second floor shows a bedroom,
study.
a study, they call it, which I think from a marketing standpoint, that would be a room that's unfinished until someone requests to have it finished. And it could become a bedroom. The study could become a bedroom. They could put a closet in there with a bedroom. The loft is open to the stairwell, so that's just the loft area.
So let's talk about that, because one of the things, as you know, the zoning board is not going to get involved with how you lay out the inside of the house. But I think the question is, you've got a plan, you're showing the setbacks and the footprint of the building, and that's really what the zoning board spends most of the time looking
Correct.
at, as you
I agree.
know. So if, you know, right now, these are all shown as two-bedroom dwellings. That's what the plans are, with a certain footprint. And if we were to approve this, then it would be approved based on these plans with these are your footprints.
Correct.
And the expectation would be that's how
That's
things
the
would be built.
footprint.
And not going, if you, it's gotta go someplace. If you're gonna add bedrooms, is it gonna go up higher and stuff like that? So,
We're not gonna add,
well,
gonna
you're,
change the
you're at
footprint.
34 feet and you can't go
No.
to, you can't
No,
go
the,
beyond 35 feet.
This product's been built by the Walsh Brothers in another town, these same footprints, and we don't anticipate the bedroom count going way up in this project. As you know, the one down the street is selling, Union. I think he sold 7 or 8 of them already, and I think he's got 3 occupied. And they're not selling to families, per se. He's building first floor masters, bedroom on the second floor. Some of them might have 2 bedrooms. I'm not 100% sure what he's got on the second floor. But the anticipation is this is going to be someone going into a home, no maintenance, this is where I'm going to retire, first floor master. The only thing that might change is they may not want the 3-season porch on the back, and that would just come off. But nothing would be added where we'd push the footprints out. Definitely wouldn't move the footprints out. And there's no room to do that, I'll be honest with you. There's no space for that.
I know you've, sorry,
Go ahead.
Chairman, I know it's been talked about before. There is an age restriction on this?
No, there's no age
So when
restriction.
you're talking about who's selling to other properties, that we're talking about forever. So,
Ever,
I mean,
correct.
we can't just judge it on what
I
you
agree.
say, because we're talking about 100 years of ownership changing
Or
hands.
more, right, I agree. No, I understand what you're saying,
So I
but I'm just
appreciate
saying,
the
that's the
explanation, but-
market that's out there for this type of
Okay,
house right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's really what's out
There
there.
there could be
Yeah,
families with many kids,
it could be.
Great
No,
for
someone
Walpole.
could buy it
Yeah.
with 4 kids,
right, or more.
or more. Highly possible.
So,
Anything's possible. So I think, we don't really have much more than that, right, to offer? That was pretty much everything we've
No, but
provided?
to that point, there was this question about some sort of covenant with things running in perpetuity.
Who's this?
Oh,
Sorry, I'm Brian.
Brian Glennon, he's one of the property owners
Okay.
with Mr. Walsh, he's his partner.
So we could put something together, and this was just an example of, forever maintenance, basically.
Right.
The conditions that would be set forth for.
Right.
I guess my point in my previous question would be, I wouldn't have as much of a concern if you said there was an age restriction, because I'd feel like, at that point, you're not intending on
Right.
having additional family members' uses of certain areas. But where you leave it open-ended, then my thought is it will be used as another bedroom.
It may,
Right.
that the possibility's there, correct.
Okay. Thank you.
and also, what he just said was that what was it, the office, what was it, the office and the loft? I mean,
There's a study and a
Study.
loft
those are gonna
and a
be
bedroom.
bedrooms. Yeah.
I don't think you'd see, the loft's open to the stairwell, so the stairs come up into the loft, so it's like a little sitting area at the top of the stairs. It's pretty small. The study room is obviously that's a much larger room. It's got sloped ceilings in it, but it's still a larger room. And it could become a bedroom.
So, because in your application, you had said, these are shown as 2, but you might have some that were 3 or 4 bedrooms. How would you make a 4-bedroom?
I'm not sure unless they put a bedroom in the basement. I don't see them getting 3 bedrooms on that second floor. I mean, that loft's gonna get small real quick if you put a wall there and try and close it off with a closet to make it a habitable room. It's gonna get pretty small. But I mean, they could finish a room in the basement. They could put a bedroom in the basement.
Particularly the walkouts.
They are walkouts, correct.
But
Well,
are they
those
all-
3, not all of them, just the ones in
3
the
on
back are
are
walkouts.
walkouts.
The 2 up front are not.
The other thing that, if you could go to the picture of the current house with the, I just want to make sure that we're clear. This is what you're saying is there now, but
Right.
that's also quite far back from the neighbor's property line,
Much further,
much further.
probably
right? So,
about,
150 feet.
Yeah,
No leaves either.
150 feet.
yeah.
so,
Definitely much further.
right, so,
Our houses are actually behind that house.
correct. So they're going to be, the neighbors will be looking up at,
Correct.
you know, 3 stories as opposed to a distant, as you pointed out, 4 stories. Okay.
There's another question. You mentioned a privacy fence.
Correct.
Do you specify what kind? I mean, are you talking about a vinyl or a cedar or?
Probably a vinyl. We didn't put a specific type. We did?
Vinyl across the rear and then cedars on the side.
Oh, okay, I guess they did talk to the neighbors. So vinyl across the rear, cedar on the sides.
Will that be called out in your drawing set, or is that
We can
just
call
a
that out for
condition,
sure.
or- Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that was agreed upon with the neighbors.
We talked about that at the last meeting.
I don't remember everything. I'm old.
Remember these things if you're gonna present.
I didn't know we had a
One of the
type.
things that, as you know, if we just look at the plan, it just says
Oh, yeah.
privacy fence. So we want to be specific on that, so we want to make sure that's noted so that it's clear for everybody. Okay. Okay. Anybody else have, from the board, any other questions or comments before we open it up to the public? Yeah.
One final one. There's no proposed lighting for the street? It's all gonna be based off of the property lighting? I think there's like a couple post lights at the, each of the units.
Yeah, that's it.
There's no street lights or anything like that.
Unless you require us to do one. I
Okay.
didn't think
No,
it
I'm
was
just curious.
necessary.
Where you said there's no age restriction, I'm just thinking about kids and
Yeah.
safety and stuff like that. Okay.
And the hydrant, it's going to be, I couldn't see it on my plan, but has it been moved to, the fire department wanted it near unit number 1?
I haven't moved it yet because I didn't speak to him his exact location where he wanted it.
Where would that be?
It's down on the cul-de-sac, right there on the right.
Okay.
See it? I think he wants to pull it back up the
Yeah.
street.
I think the fire,
I mean, I do the thing where you put it at the end so you can flush the line, and it's right there, but he wants to pull it back up further.
you're right, I think they said.
Is it
near
unit 1 or
unit
2?
one.
What did he say in his letter? I thought
Unit
he-
1,
Unit all the way up there?
yeah, that's what,
No, that's fine. I have no, I mean, it doesn't matter where we put it for us, technically.
yeah.
It's where he wants. I guess it makes sense that you're driving in, you want to hook up right away, no matter where you're going for the fire, the first one or the last one.
I have one question.
Sure.
Can you remind me, is this an HOA setup or?
What's an HOA? Oh, homeowner association? Yes, sorry, yes. It's it'll act like a condominium
All
project.
right, so it's
Private
condos,
road.
an HOA.
Yeah, private trash pickup,
Snow removal, landscaping,
snow
all
removal.
that. Yep.
There'll be a clause in there, if the snow gets too much, they'll remove it from the site.
I have one other question. On all your drawings, they say the existing bituminous sidewalk, was there plans to repave that sidewalk?
To
In front of
repave
the
it.
property? I
Just
thought
in-
that was a previous engineered DPW comment.
He was asking us to build a new sidewalk all the way down to Pleasant Street.
And you're not gonna do that?
We didn't put that in the plan, though.
But that, we could do that as a condition.
Yes.
And, Drew, are you talking from here?
I just remember it being an engineer's
right.
comment. I don't exactly remember the length, but.
Yeah. And it also had to, the ADA.
Right, the ramps, yeah.
So,
But they're not gonna do that.
is that something, you know, we're talking about the, just updating and improving the sidewalk from your, I guess, your, northern or western bound all the way to Pleasant Street.
We did not want to do that.
Okay.
It was not, and, yeah.
I also see that you have a land disturbance permit and review for stormwater management. You're going to Concom for that
And planning board for site plan.
and planning.
But yeah, this is gonna go, yeah, this will go conservation, land disturbance, and planning board site plan.
Okay. Anything else from board members? Okay. Any neighbors have questions or comments? Yeah, come on up, please.
Good evening, Joe Cormier, 130 Union Street, I'm a direct abutter. I have a bunch of comments. So the first is, I wasn't able to make the meeting. I think I had a 2 days' notice and I just couldn't make it that night. But I don't think this is about adding a few trees or, making sure we have a privacy fence. I think it's just a gross abuse of the zoning bylaws. A few things personally for my own property. If you could show the plan, the northwest corner of my property, which is where that jet out is.
Sure. Which one do you want? I have a couple different.
The proposed plan, next one down.
One of this one?
Yeah, that one's good. Can you zoom into that corner? Yeah.
Right here?
Yep. So as I mentioned the last meeting, you can see the driveway of that rear property is within a foot of my property line, right where the fence is there. The grading just doesn't work. It's about a 2-foot grade differential in about 3 inches. And that water's gonna be flowing onto my property. I don't understand why it has to be that close, but that wasn't addressed from my previous comments. Second of all, just gathering my thoughts here. The rendering shown, what I asked for in the first meeting, was the property or the proposed development in context with the surrounding property. It's shown in a beautiful green field, which is a beautiful rendering, but it doesn't show it in context of what it's going to look like within the neighborhood. And the whole point of this is to have harmony with the neighborhood. That's right in the zoning bylaws. And I just want to see what it looks like in the neighborhood. You can easily do that with a quick drone shot and laying that rendering in. But I want to see what it looks like, because we all know that when we show that, it's going to be grossly out of character with the surrounding neighborhood. And I think that the whole point of the zoning bylaws is to protect our property value, and having this kind of development in a very small space next to within a neighborhood, which is, I appreciate your comment, a beautiful neighborhood. It's an old neighborhood built in the late 1800s. It's completely out of character, Nothing even close to harmonizing with the surrounding neighborhood. To that point, I ran some numbers. So just, talking about harmony, you should have general consistency, similarity between the properties. So instead of having, single-family structures or multifamily structures, you have 6 primary structures facing in all different directions. Not one driveway, which most houses have in the neighborhood, but 6. The front setback is a 30% increase from the average setback in surrounding properties. Side setback, 20% increase, or decrease, I should say. Rear setback is a 47% decrease from surrounding properties. The footprint of the primary residences on the property is a 500% increase in square footage area of the properties on the sites. And the structure coverage is 22% increase. So I'm really having a hard time seeing how this proposed development is in any way, shape, or form in harmony with the surrounding neighborhood. Lastly, not lastly, but I will say that I read through the zoning bylaws, and I don't think this even proposed development meets all the requirements that's stated within. Under residential, it says dwelling for occupancy by more than 3 families. Definitely this is the case. You have to have the dwelling has to be attached to public sewer. I know that's proposed to have public sewer attachment. Such dwelling is located on a lot having areas of at least 30,000 square feet with additional 10,000 square feet or more. I know they meet that. A 50-foot buffer zone shall be required where the adjacent lot has a single-family dwelling or is in a vacant lot.
So I'm gonna stop you there. So that's not actually the section of zoning that they're applying under.
They're not,
It's not a multifamily. It's under section 6C4A.
of the zoning, which is for multiple dwellings on a single lot.
64A?
6C4A.
So that doesn't apply, the 50-foot buffer?
No. So what that would be talking about is if they wanted to build like a three-family house on the lot. This is, Mr. Deschaines correctly said, they're applying under, as I read it, under 6, what is it, 6, you have to look at
Give me the page number of the zoning laws.
47.
6C4, and this is number of buildings per lot, and it's allowed in the general residence area. So, yeah, I have it. So you were looking at a different bylaw.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, I just have just serious concerns about how different this development is proposed to be within the rest of the neighborhood. It's grossly out of character. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments? Just please come to the microphone. And just
I would also
identify
con-
yourself for the record.
Oh, Ryan Connors, 75 Pleasant Street. So, right there. I would agree with the aesthetics of the entire property. Does not meet the aesthetics of the current neighborhood. When I did go to the last meeting that we had at Town Hall and we discussed making the side of the home appear as if it had a door to make it somewhat blend in with everything else. And then to come here tonight and have them pull up the old library as an example was like wildly frustrating because that is just not anything close to what is existing right there. I will say, like, I am pleased to see that our voices were heard. I know Alex, the neighbor at 67 Pleasant Street, couldn't be here this evening, but she is also very concerned with the privacy of this property and what it's going to do to our backyards. And so to see that the fence is on here is great. To now learn that I need to pay closer attention to what type of fence is going to go up and how that's all going to go is good. I think that's why I come to these meetings. But yeah, so just to concur with my other neighbors, it doesn't match anything else that's here. It's taking one building that is a multifamily, which I've learned, and turning it into 6 single-family units that now, since tonight we talked, could potentially have 5 bedrooms in them, which is very different.
Not 5.
Well, 3, but
no,
then they could
could
turn
be-
one thing into a bedroom and another thing
Yeah.
into a bedroom. We talked that
Yeah.
it was going to be a 55-plus community. It doesn't
No,
seem
that
to
was-
be.
That was never part of the application.
That was talked to us
Okay.
at the, like, community meetings, that was the vision, is that it was going to be more of a 55-plus community, and so children wouldn't be living there. As a school teacher in another community, I think thinking about how that impacts the schools should be something that the zoning board considers.
No, we don't.
You don't, but it should be,
can't.
because the impact on our schools is wildly aggressive. But yeah, so even just tonight to hear that it's marked as 2-bedroom, but could potentially end up being 5, depending on how someone who buys it for $1.6 million turns it into, is a lot to consider. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes.
Judy Conroy, 455 Elm Street. I just wanted to emphasize what Mr. Lee brought up about the house that's there now. And if you were in Mr. Connor's backyard, that existing home that's approximately 4 stories high is halfway in the lot. So what the renderings that they've shown is that's not what Mr. Connors and Mr. Kirby are going to look at. I think that a walkout with a deck over it is not exactly a pleasant thing to look up at from their location. I also did speak to Patrick earlier this week about the house the first house on, in the project, Unit 1, if it could possibly, again, everyone's already said it, look like a home that's on Union Street itself. And there is a development on Route 27 in Sherburne, which sat vacant with a farm on it for a long time. And I just happened to notice they have a very similar, it's a horseshoe driveway, but the two homes that are lovely, maybe a little bit bigger than what you are proposing, they face Route 27, and it fits into the neighborhood. That particular neighborhood has houses in it that are, 300 years old on that stretch of 27. So I just would hope that they would maybe take a swing by. I was driving, so I couldn't take a picture for you, but, and also, could you let us know where you've already built this similar type of project, so we can go look at it? Where is the other project that you say is like a cookie cutter to this one? What town? Holliston. More specific, please?
We also have it here on Stone Street, very similar to the same houses.
Same houses, okay. I'm familiar with Stone Street. Where in Holliston, and how many houses are there?
We did it off of Hollis Street, we did 34 homes.
Can I have an address, please? A street name or something?
Bridgeview Path.
Bridgeview Path off Hollis Street in Holliston.
Okay. All right. So just to beat a dead horse, I think the neighbors that are there on the lower end of Arbor Court are going to be looking up at a lot of structure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So at this point, I think we need to get another look at, seems like the house closest to Union Street, that's one that you need to do some work on. What that's going to look like, how you can make it have a feel for a house facing Union Street as opposed to a large side with, just a couple windows on it. What else? I did have one question on the landscape. Had to do with the trees along Mr. Cormier's property. I noticed that, right where you're pointing, we see a couple right there, some small, I think they were maple trees that were being proposed, but they stop. They don't come down closer to the road. Any reason for that?
You want to pull the plans up?
Yeah, you can pull the plan up, but,
So we're on the same page.
yep.
Each one of these has, the plan copies.
Should be sheet 7 of 13. 7 of 13.
Yeah, so,
Any reason, Rob, that these stop or can we, we can do more?
I didn't put any coming down because there's a couple big trees right on his property line that are showing the existing conditions plan. They're just over the
Okay.
property line onto his property.
okay.
One right around where those,
Yeah, we have 2 maples, a large oak, in some portion of the property line.
yeah,
Okay.
just like within 4 or 5 feet actually, right? Of the-
I am concerned about the root system being damaged by the construction and land modification, but
Yeah. That was just one, now I know why, because
Right.
the neighbor has trees, so.
Yeah, it looks kind of funky, there's no trees right there.
Yeah, but that's on the plan, but in reality, there would be a buffer. Mr. Cormier, any thoughts on that?
there's trees from the front road side of the property line to probably midway, roughly where my house is. There's no trees beyond that.
Right.
So I don't, I can't see if they propose trees there towards the backside of the property.
Yeah, they are. So,
He was questioning why we didn't bring them up front.
yep. And the answer is, there's already trees. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So, Unit 1, redesign of how that can fit the character of the neighborhood. I mean, obviously, the density is the biggest issue. If you look at the lot sizes, Patrick, and I do have the bylaw, but
Well, for GR?
what?
What were you asking? Lots of.
Well, lot sizes around there are probably about 15,000 square feet.
So under zoning, 15,000, and yes, that's if you're building new. Realistically, there's a lot of older homes there that are under 10. You know, if you're taking a larger scale look at the general residential district, I wouldn't say everything's 15,000 square feet.
Okay, but, well, I looked at some of them, and there are some that
Some
are
are.
15,000.
Yeah.
I didn't,
Our property's 20,000, the one next to theirs goes all the way back. So on our side of the street, they're actually larger properties, except for the corner lot.
Now, the one to the left of us goes all the way back, we're
As
beyond
the one
us.
next to that.
And then the one behind that goes all the way back to the old railroad bed.
yeah.
Those two are kind of large.
So, so one of the things, what I'm saying is, when you consider the size of the lots for the other houses, and we're putting all this on, or you're proposing to put it all on, what is it,
1.5, I think.
5 acres, yeah. 4.5, yeah, so, and that's not counting, and then, of course, you have the roadway that's, you know, taken out of that. These are pretty small lots with high density, and as many of these things, they come down to a question of density. That's,
It also complies with the zoning, though.
it does. Yep.
Can I,
Yes.
at the most northerly part, you have a future sewer stub shown? What is that?
For the neighbor, down the back. He's on a septic.
Can you
We offered to provide sewer to them. They can't get out the other way on that street they're on. So we offered, we're gonna run that stub down there, and they're gonna share, it's gonna service two neighbors. So they can tie a pump in it. We're gonna give them an easement for that line.
And was that on the last drawing?
No,
So when you identified the changes to the drawings?
I'm sorry,
you
I
didn't
missed-
think that was, okay.
I didn't, that was done for a neighbor. It wasn't really done in the sense of an overall engineering thing.
Right.
That was
But
something we agreed on in that last meeting.
Who's
I'm
gonna
sorry.
maintain the property when 6 households are living there? An HOA?
Yes.
And now, what's gonna happen when the 2 neighbors who are tied into the septic are also part of that HOA?
They will not be part of the HOA. We will be responsible for their line from the property line to the manhole.
Okay.
They'll be responsible for their pump and their own system.
Can you put that somewhere where we can read it and digest it a little bit better?
I guess, yeah, we can try and come up with some language you can,
Okay.
that you can read.
That'd
Yeah,
be great.
I didn't catch that.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't either.
Yeah, they had asked, that came out of that library meeting.
Good for the neighbors.
There's only a couple of them down there that don't have sewer. And I guess at the end of the cul-de-sac, when they built the last house, the sewer goes out through those houses around the other way, is what I was explained to me. So they kind of didn't get into the system. Everybody else around there has sewer.
Okay. Anything else that you'd want to see on a revised plans besides?
Houses?
Yeah, well, right. I think we all agree to that, but the applicant probably doesn't agree with that.
What was that? I couldn't hear him.
Less houses.
Oh,
So, the other thing, on these plans, if approved, your setbacks from the back property line, those are locked in.
Correct.
And and the three-season porch is part of the dwelling, whereas the deck, but you're showing setbacks from the three-season porch, so, okay.
That would, and it, like I said earlier, the only thing that, if someone didn't want the porch, it just wouldn't be put on. And the setback would just be increased to the house.
Okay.
Leave it, it would always stay where it is, and then if they want to put it on later, they could too.
Okay, I think probably want to continue this until you can
Sure.
get the revised
And so,
plan.
just in summary, we're gonna work on the Unit 1, see what we can come up with for a layout for that to make it look like it's facing the street. And then I guess we'll revise the plan one more time. We'll label the type of fence, and I'll make sure on the position of the hydrant with the fire chief or deputy chief. I think that's it for the plan, right?
You have anything else?
I'd just be curious, since you're not going to pave the sidewalk, how much work will go on with the proximity to the public way, and what sort of non-damage you will cause with all the construction in that area? How are you planning on protecting the sidewalk? Because a lot of that area has been repaved, as the engineer said.
Correct.
And you're not going to repave that, right, as part of your proposal?
We're gonna repave the sidewalk that we take out to access the site.
Right.
We're not gonna run a new sidewalk from the site to Pleasant
Yeah,
Street.
no, I guess I'm just curious, if we
So
were
as far
to
as the-
allow you to build 6 units on there, how much construction would go on in that area?
Right.
And what precautions you're gonna take during the construction phase to make sure that the sidewalk's not damaged, since you're not gonna repave it?
The sidewalk,
Well, they could,
we're gonna damage the sidewalk where we're coming in.
Okay,
We're gonna re-concrete that.
okay.
That we're
That's
gonna
not what you said
repair.
before, but okay.
Well, we're gonna fix the sidewalk we're coming through, where we're coming through. We're just not making a new sidewalk down Pleasant Street.
Okay.
okay, well, then, one of the possibilities would be to look at, a bond, bonding for the work that you're going to do to the sidewalk. So I think that it might be reasonable to say that, it's going to benefit the people that live there, if approved, to have a nice sidewalk right down to the corner, so. But we can look at, what it would involve to bond, have a bond for the sidewalk. We've done that before for.
I think there's, actually, do they
gravel
bond the
removal.
project to the roadway?
What was that?
Do they have to put a bond up when they build the road?
No, I'm just talking about the
The
sidewalk.
road, no, because it's not a subdivision, but for the access or utilization of town property, I
Yeah.
think we've done something
Yeah.
similar.
I mean-
yeah.
Or a bond for the work in the public way?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's typical with the DPW, I mean, I don't know if it goes through engineering or DPW,
DBW,
or both.
yeah.
But yeah, that, they usually require a bond for any work because it's gonna be work in the public way, that lasts, whatever it is, 10 feet from the property line to the edge of pavement. So they generally require you to bond that.
Yeah, well.
So
that
as
would
far
be-
as the utilities go, the water and sewer are already brought to the property. They already tapped the water main, brought the stub into the property. They already tapped the sewer main, brought the sewer into the property before they paved the road. That was all done. So there's not gonna be any, any reason to dig up the pavement.
Bill?
There was a comment by an abutter about snow removal and the proximity to the fence, as far as what the maintenance and property owners, I guess, HOA or lack thereof, was for the property in the future.
Well, it does say in HOA, one of the things I did look at, and the neighbor is correct, I believe it was Mr. Cormier who said, there's about a 2 foot of, it's a huge drop right there at the corner.
I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, and, you're right, take a look at that. I also recognize that the water is also shedding away, which would probably be more of a concern of Ms. Connors in the, at 75 Pleasant, if that's what's happening. But it would be moving away from Mr. Cormier's property, but that is that's a good observation on his part, that the contour lines are they all converge right at the point where the fence is at the property line corner.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Good?
Good.
When do you want to continue until?
You got Patrick for meetings?
Next month?
So next month would be March 4th, the other meeting you have in February, but there's nothing on it, but March 4th is the next, I guess, available regular meeting date.
Yeah,
March 4th?
March 4th?
Sure.
Okay.
We need an extension of time, though.
Okay, and can you give us an extension of time until April 1st?
Sure.
Okay.
You need him to email you that, Patrick? Is that fine, or you want something right now?
Yeah, if you, well, take a motion to approve it, but if you have it in an email as well, so I
Okay.
can record it.
Make a motion, we would give an extension till April, what'd you say, April 1st?
April 1st, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, does somebody want to make a motion at the request of the applicant to continue until March 1st, 7 o'clock here at Town Hall,
March 4th.
March 4th? What did I say? March.
I believe it was March 4th.
Yeah, March 4th. You are
March
correct.
4th,
Yeah,
yeah.
March
April
4th.
1st,
Yeah.
March 4th.
Right. And an extension of time until April 1st.
So moved.
Moved by Mark,
Second.
second by Drew. Any further discussion on that? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed, abstained. Okay, so that's continued. Okay. Next thing we have is minutes from previous meetings. So we have minutes, well, I'll just wait for Ms. Conroy to come back. I know that. So the first minutes we have is December 3rd, and I did review these minutes. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the minutes of December 3rd?
Hold on one sec.
Okay,
Going on.
I'll make a motion to approve.
okay. Second. By Judy, second by Shane. Any further discussion on the minutes of December 3rd? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried. And then we have the minutes for January 7th, and those two hearings were continued, so very short meeting. Does somebody want to make a motion to approve the minutes of January 7th?
So moved.
Okay, it's moved by Drew,
Second.
second by Mark, and the only people that can approve these are Drew, Mark, and Tim. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed, abstained?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay, so those carry. Okay. And thank you, Patrick, for those minutes. I'm not sure if,
Well, I mean, I only did January 7th, and
You
that
did-
was,
okay,
they
well,
don't even
that's-
thank me for that one. That was
pretty easy.
Okay,
a lot of
without
brain cells
thanking
went
you.
into that,
Okay.
yeah.
Does anybody have anything else for the meeting tonight?
I had a question.
Yes.
Patrick, are you getting any help?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Eventually. So obviously, when Lauren left, handling the 2-week process, but yeah, eventually we're going to try to find having a board, I guess representative, secretary or admin or someone similar position to Lauren's. Still kind of figuring it out, but in the right now it's been kind of slow, so it's not a problem I'll just take care of that until we figure it out. But obviously, John, I'll let you know. And
Yeah, no, we've talked about it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
In
in
the
the
works.
works. Yeah,
Good question, though.
okay.
Glad we're getting back
Anything
up.
else? Okay, does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Judy,
second.
second by Shane. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, so carried. Not even 8 o'clock.